Sorry, everyone out there that's watching. I'm actually going to play the other song because we haven't played it in a while. So I'm going to start that back up. I apologize. Here we go.
It's like a water, I'm learning every day. I can't explain all the mystery away, but there's a spirit that connects me and you. And when I heard him sing, I knew that it was true. It's life, it's a circle, and we walk it with love, because it fills us with the beauty of life. Pick up the pen like I'm picking up the whirlwind. Put it to the paper, you can see them colors swirling. I got an army alphabet, a fire burning. Lyrical liquid nickel, keep this world turning. See the earth is hard and this will be this free and easy. The moment penetrates, so seeds just spread the seed need me. The universe is calling, saying that it need me. Yo, you get hungry, I just let this music feed me. So I take my pen and stab it through the heart of Babylon. I take my pen, stab it through the heart of Babylon. So high, so many times I wanna stay, but I got to travel on. So high, I take my pen, stab it through the heart of Babylon. Side by side we unite, so we see the masses movement. Been a million miles, you can see this where this truth been. You start to riot when you see the movement moving. To the people that we are, the heavy, see the roof bend. See another side of life, try my stripe up, release the life, constantly pressure to be the best. Joshua, please be my life. Baby, I'm trying, if only you could just see my plight. Then we would never, in fact, you try to survive this fight. So I take my pen and stab it through the heart of Babylon. I take my pen, stab it through the heart of Babylon. So high, so many times I wanna stay, but I have to travel on. So high, I take my pen, stab it through the heart of Babylon. I take my pen, stab it through the heart of Babylon. So many times I wanna stay, but I got to travel on. So high, I take my pen, stab it through the heart of Babylon. So I take my pen, stab it through the heart of Babylon. I take my pen, stab it through the heart of Babylon. So high, so many times I wanna stay, but I have to travel on. So high, I take my pen, stab it through the heart of Babylon.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Circle of the Earth Fellowship. we're going to be closing out the quote unquote Great Earth Debate by Duffy and Sean Griffin. And we've already done 2 parts of this. It's a pretty long stream, so it's a pretty long debate, so it has taken 3 streams. Definitely when Mr. Will Duffy has to talk, because the guy is just like, it just comes out of his mouth. I don't even know if he can help it. But before we get into that, like always, we'll say quick hellos to our brothers that joined us on the panel, and then we'll get into it. So without further ado, welcome, brothers. Good to see you, Kyle. I had a lovely Shabbat meeting over at your house, so thanks for having me, and thanks for being on the show. Good to see you again.
You as well, brother. It was fun.
Yep.
I definitely look forward to finishing this one. Hopefully we won't have to see much of Will Duffy in the future, but I feel like it'll be just the opposite. He's a pretty good character that, I mean, who wouldn't miss such a weasel with such a face like that?
That was
him and the other, McToon and yes, they're just they're a fun crowd.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because and I'm sorry for everyone, but the whole the final experiment, like to end all debates, and it's like, but yet you're making a profession out of going and debating it with people, and it's like, it's so weird. He's such a weird dude.
He is. He's fun,
in the words of Rachel Zagalleri, it's weird.
He's weird.
Sweet. Well, awesome. Good to see you again. And Frankie B, brother, good to see you as always. How you doing?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, dude is pretty weird. He's just, I can't believe he's a pastor, too. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and a little bit behind that, if you don't know, like, he kind of, like, I wouldn't say usurped it, but it's like, he was, like, in a part of a church, and then the pastor left, and then he kind of just took that spot. Like, to be honest, I don't really know the story, but I know that by heart, but when the story had been explained to me, so at least from that perspective, it seemed kind of weird how he got that position.
Either way, it doesn't qualify you for anything, nor give you any expertise, especially when it comes to knowing the Bible. In fact, it should hold you to a higher standard, to where if you're ever questioned on any of these things, you should have a ready defense when it comes to what the scripture says. You shouldn't just be ready to say, well, how ridiculous it would be to defend it from the side of the Bible. You should just have those Bible verses popping off in your head, Mr. Pastor. You should know them by heart and have them popping off where you're like, oh, nope, the reason that's a false interpretation, and you're eisegetically imposing your geocentric, flat earth views on the scriptures is because of, this chapter here, this verse here. But instead, none of that. You just laugh at the Bible and make a mockery of it, and then claim that you're like some kind of pastor. Man, who would want to go to your church? Like, it
just tells you the state of the church. I mean, we had another pastor on that debated Sean, and it just tells you that it's sad, man. It's really sad. They're not really conforming to the doctrine of the Bible. They're conforming to the doctrines of man, and they're conforming to
the world.
The government. With their C3 500 or whatever how it goes, they're tax exempt status. They're jumping through hoops just to keep that. You know what I mean? Sad.
Yeah, and that's like one thing about like what we do, like as home churches, and even what we do here, right? It's like, we're not trying to profit from this. Our goal is not to make money from any individual here. Like, if you want to bless us because we pay the bills to make this happen, and you want to throw us $10, like, cool, thank you. We appreciate that. But no way in shape or form am I doing this. Are we here to make money, right? And so you do see when it kind of becomes about the money, right? And definitely when you have like yeah, I have programs and stuff that if they shut off, no worries, right? It's like whatever. I guess I'm not streaming this month. I don't have the money for it. But like at the very, like if you have a physical building, right? And you have to have those lights on and those doors open and that service that to be able to do that whole thing, right? If you don't have the money to do that, that's a big deal, right? So I feel like they're even more in a precarious situation because they do have physical equipment. They do have a physical location. And so it's like, you know what I mean? It's a little different.
Crazy the money that they collect. Like the big mega church, and they're not paying taxes.
Yep.
I mean, we're taxed on everything, our income, and then when we go to buy our real estate, everything, your gas, the tires, like everything that we do with our money is taxed.
Then you're told to tithe on Sunday and judge if you don't do it, but then simultaneously told that the law's done away with and it's a curse to do it, So they just can't make up their minds apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it's a curse to do all. It's a curse to do all the commandments, but that one where it's like give us money, yeah, that one, please do that.
We don't agree on end time views, but we do agree on biblical soundness and scripture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. That's why I'm not really part of a church. I just,
it really is hard, right? It's really hard because
it really is.
And we were actually talking about this today because we do a home church, right? There is no one man sitting above any of the other men in authority. We are reading scripture. We are discussing that scripture. We're discussing the differences in the different versions that we're reading. We're talking about what that means to us and what that means. And is that something that we can fulfill and how should we fulfill it? All those different parts, right? That's not one man telling, hey, this is the interpretation to go with.
Or telling some story of the week that you probably, knocked off somebody else. Stole from someone else, and so make up some story of the week, then tie it into somewhere in Acts or something like that, and it becomes just redundant and a little superficial in my eyes, because when you do that every single week and you never actually break down doctrine and the need to change your life and do it according to a certain way and what it really means to be a Christian and a follower of Christ and what he did and what the disciples did, it's not what you see in these churches. So, I have a lot of props for people like we were talking about earlier with Andrew, where he'll go into some of these individuals' churches and ask to do an interview with them and ask them about their
understanding and belief
Yeah, exactly. And you catch them backsliding in their answers and how it conflicts with how they interpret scripture entirely. And then, you break it down to this point where they're just cherry picking what they want to observe in the commandments.
Yep.
Yep.
And then you have, so we could go on for that, but let's get into this. There's still going to be tons left of the debate that we're not going to cover, but I think 3 parts is more than enough. And if we don't get in,
how many hours is this debate?
We have made it 1 hour and 20, and it's 3 hours and 50 minutes. So we've made it a third through. But okay, here, let me share it and we'll get to it.
I think the last 20 minutes is just the dude talking, moderator.
Yeah. So it ends at 3:20, so it's 2 hours left, but yeah.
Put you backstage and bring in Sean Griffin. Sean, I will reset the timer. And you also have 10 minutes for a rebuttal.
Okay, sorry everyone. Give me 1 second. That's actually coming from the wrong audio. Let me mute this for a second and then play this. Oops.
I'll start the timer on your first word. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so tonight we heard a lot of rhetoric from Will. We heard a lot of bolstering, a lot of false claims of if this can't be shown, then all this else must be incorrect and the debate's over. And yet, countless times, countless ideas that I presented here, he has no answer for. So therefore, I'll just repeat the same rhetoric and say the debate's over, Will. You cannot account for many of the things I showed you today. So therefore, you're just going to have to concede and just go back and trust the Bible that it does match our reality, because the Bible does not match your claims at all. So we'll get into that in the cross. I'm excited about that. You made a lot of inerrant claims and then tried to, I guess, apply them to me during your opening presentation. It was truly wasted time during your opening presentation. Instead of providing explanations about TFE and why these are solid proofs with, what is his name, Critical Think or whatever, his plane flight, without even showing the images. I've got the video pulled up. I can see how he's, I'm excited to talk to you about stuff like that, right? I watched your TFE videos and I watched Critical Think try to do measurements with with scales that weren't zeroed out and weren't calibrated, and how he's just trying to find a random flat spot so he can do like the most unscientific measurements that he's claiming. Oh, it proves the globe. Yeah, there's less centripetal force down here. It proves the globe. Like just the most unscientific.
Are y'all getting the same thing where is it spinning for y'all? Is it buffering for y'all? All right, guys, I think I fixed it. I so apologize for this. I'll definitely cut this out. So let's go ahead and get into the bait and go from there. Welcome, everybody. Thank you.
Bolstering and bravado of nonsense. And for you to try to disassociate yourself from the Big Bang heliocentric model must mean that you have a completely separate concept of the constellations and how that reticule has been put into a coordinate system as a map. This map that you claim that you do have that solves all your answers and your problems for yourself, that's based on a heliocentric modeling of the sky. So if you don't think that that's accurate based on everything, that all the baggage that goes with that, well, then you actually have a massive fallacy where you want to eat your cake and and just disregard all the actual fundamental concepts that you would have to swallow in order for you to believe that concept of you having an accurate map of the Earth based on this position of the stars in the sky, which is solely dedicated to at least the claims of modern science is that the position of the stars in the sky is dedicated to the heliocentric Big Bang cosmology. So for you to try to distance yourself from that is a very poor and weak attempt, very illogical. I'm surprised that you would do that. Furthermore, you claim of me that I'm not Dave Weiss, I'm not Eric Dubay, I'm not Sovereign Soul, I'm none of those guys. I'm a little disappointed with as much time as we had for this debate that you didn't go into all of my biblical cosmological videos and the claims that I've talked about, the illustrations I've shown. The things that I've shown tonight are just a small fraction of the stuff that I've actually been putting out in the past 5 years dedicated to this topic. So you could have been better informed about what I actually believe and teach from the scriptures, as opposed to just lumping me in with people who do claim that the A.E. Gleason's map is a accurate projection of distances and land masses and continent sizes, which I do not. So I don't like to be lumped into that. In no way. I even sent you an email before we started this debate. I sent you an email. Donnie is a witness to this, telling you, hey, don't straw man me on the A.E. Gleason's map because I don't hold to that. I'm not like the other flat earthers. I know why it was made and I know what it's for, and it's not to accurately represent a firmament enclosed reality. But yet you're still even bringing it up here and now, claiming that because I use the concept of it as an illustration that I hold to all of its claims. I don't. That's silly. So I will.
You have to take the person by their own words, and obviously you're not willing to do your side of the research, or the people aren't willing to find clips or whatever of Sean. I don't really know, because Sean's got a lot of videos. I feel like Will Duffy could find something at least to clip Sean on saying, but it's I guess it's just kind of strange to me. You're muted again.
Me, but they can't hear me. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys, I had to mute a whole bunch of stuff to do with the fixing thing. So okay, our sound is all good now. I apologize. Yeah, so back to what I was saying, and please reiterate too, Kyle, is that Will Duffy doesn't attack Sean's beliefs here, and Sean is bringing it up. He doesn't attack Sean's beliefs. He's attacking Eric Dubay's and David Weiss and all these other people, showing their evidence, their proof, their mind, and not Sean's. And you're totally right to say that he should have been able to find some type of clip, some type of thing that Sean has said that he could pick apart. But no, he chooses all these other people to pick apart. So weird.
Right. And then he uses the same bullet point, type proofs that have been, discussed since 10 years ago, since 2014, 2015, where it's like, aha, but the sun in the sky, the stars in the sky do this, so therefore the earth is this shape. It's literally that same argument, and I don't understand how, like, it's an appeal today so strong that like other people think it's actually an argument to make that, because you see the sun do something in the sky means that the actual shape underneath you is
Well, and the only reason why you would do that is that you already believe that the earth is a sphere, right? So if you believe the earth is a sphere, then you can measure out to those things based upon that sphere, based upon the radius, right? And why it's intrinsically tied to it.
Why wouldn't we just do the sticks and shadows again, like Eratosthenes?
Yeah, wasn't that the final experiment that proved it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of ridiculous, because that is what they're claiming. They're claiming, because I see this light source like this, that means that these angles and these things are on a curved surface. I actually think the Eratosthenes experiment was better than Will Duffy's final experiment. I think it's a little better, trickier to use the sunlight than what he was thinking down there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just silly. But yeah, to not use any of Sean's actual arguments.
So M Stone said, "Can you explain what other shape the Earth could be with a 24-hour sun?" So you already tied in what the sun is doing with the shape of the Earth. So my question to you is, why would you use the sky, right? Not like if you are going from a true want to understand the truth, you want to come to the truth regardless of where it takes you, then why can you assume what the sky is, what the sun is, what its behavior means? How can you assume any of those things? One, and then two, make an inference about what the shape of the earth is based upon things that you've speculated that the sky, what that does, what that means. No way in shape or form can you prove to me that the sun is 93 million miles away. Nowhere could you ever possibly prove that the next star is, I don't know, that I don't remember these numbers anymore because they're all ridiculous, but is 10 light years away. Like, there's no way you could ever prove that number to me. And because it's falsifiable, it's unfalsifiable, and because you can't validate any information you give me, why would you use the sky to say what we are? What I do know, and this is from personal experience, is I have done long distance observations. I did it over the Bear Lake, which is in like Utah and Idaho, and no way, shape, or form should I have been able to see from one side of the lake to the other, which is 20 miles long. And sure enough, I saw cars driving where I shouldn't have been driving. They should have been hundreds of feet below. So if you're then saying, well, the earth could be much bigger, well, no. That's not how your math works. That's not how the heliocentric model works. It's all based on the R value.
Did you measure the distance from the center of the body of water between the two ends and make sure there wasn't a deviation there? That's his argument, and one of them, where he says, like, Like, okay, if you shoot a laser, and if the Earth's curve is still under that laser where the curve isn't obstructing it, if you were to take like an instrument to measure at the very center there, you could tell that there was a curve still. It's like, bro, I don't think you understand how far we're talking about. There should be hundreds of feet, sometimes thousands of feet blocking. You shouldn't be able to measure the center because it's being obstructed way before it even gets to that point. But it's not being obstructed, obviously.
Yeah, and so you're talking about things happening in the sky and what dictates the earth, and that to me is such a disconnected, unlogical even mindset, because you have to assume that the stars and the sun are what they say they are based upon the heliocentric model. So of course, in your view, that the sun is 93 million miles away and the moon is 237,000 miles away and is tidal locked in, all of these things you bake into the shape of the earth. What I'm saying is what we're standing upon in no way, shape, or form has any relation to what's in the sky. And I can even tell you that more so because if you're biblical at all, I don't know M Stone, but if you believe the Bible at all, the earth was created day one. The firmament was created day two, and the sun, the moon, and the stars were created on day 4. So how could something that was created on day 4 be used to tell you what was created on day 1 when it didn't exist yet? It's illogical to say, oh, by that. No, what the stars are is they are a time clock. It is for signs and season and for wonders. It literally spells out exactly what the stars are used for. But in your mind, they have to be trillions of light years away. Like space is, it's just like light. It's both simultaneous. It has dual properties where it's simultaneously void of anything, but yet also has particulates. But those particulates are arranged in such a way that even though you're seeing through a whole bunch of little particulates, you can still see these vast differences. It doesn't work like dust in the sky, right? That would eventually block your vision. No. It's completely clear unless you need to have a rocket push off of it. Well, then there's something there for the rocket to push out. It's not really much. It's pretty much nothing. But there's something for the rocket to push off of. That's how it can slow down and stop in non-atmosphere of the moon. That's how when the lunar lander came down, it wasn't going at 17,000 miles an hour plus. Like, all of these ideas are ridiculous. You cannot falsify them, meaning you can't do the math. You can't get a tape measurer and say, hey, is that board actually 1 foot and this other board is actually 1 foot? You can't take that to the sun and say, oh, yep, you're right. It's 93 million miles on the dot. It's so preposterous.
Yeah, and just to kind of respond also in the chat here, like, people want to say like the flat Earth model doesn't predict anything. It's like, yeah, well, maybe because you get a false understanding of what that understanding is and how ancient it goes back to. So ancient that it was before your ball Earth model that you actually represent everything off of a flat Earth model, like a zenith and an azimuth, latitude points. They are all like. Navigating the entire Earth was done assuming it was flat before you ever assumed it was a ball. Like every eclipse and cycle of the sun and everything was already mapped into calendars of ancient civilizations. I mean, we're like, we already know this and admit it. We admit that monuments line up with the stars, that there's, this crazy alignment between ancient civilizations and how they interpreted the stars. You guys are like willing to admit that. But then on the other hand, you're like, oh, it doesn't predict anything. Those stupid flurfers from that time, yet they built all these things. Your thinking is kind of shameful, to be honest.
Well, and so Owen, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to just say, and you don't even have a model. You cannot model anything you believe. You cannot stick pressurized air and water to a spinning ball and float it around a consuming sun ball that's just burning from the inside full of gases that's in a vacuum. You cannot demonstrate your model in reality. You cannot create that. You can stick styrofoam balls around like a central point that are all connected through metal or strings or something like that. That's the best you guys can do to create a model. It's a joke. You can laugh at ours, but I mean, in a realistic sense, you cannot model anything you believe. It's all fantasy.
No, you're exactly right. And that what I see that they stand on is literally, well, like, it's working. See, the stars work. We can reverse engineer and make a system where it shows similar to what we see, therefore we're right. And you're exactly right. When it talks, when they say, like, and even Owen Benjamin gives credit to the globe model, being like, oh, the globe model does have predictions. Well, to be fair, Owen, like, no, it really doesn't. All of those predictions are based upon ancient mathematics and ancient information that was in the Farmer's Almanac way before anyone believed in a globe. Like, I wouldn't say before a globe, but you know what I mean? Like, they've had to know the changing of times in those seasons way longer before they needed to, quote unquote, go into space. You know what I mean? And so for them to even equate the two, it literally blows my mind. I don't understand how they think their model, by, like you're saying, put them on little hooks and, like, see, this is what blah blah blah, or they do it in a computer simulation where they can literally control all the variables and all the visuals. It's like, so, like,
they still can't even actually demonstrate the distances.
Oh, they can't even get beyond 3 bodies, let alone, you know, the whole solar system, and then the galaxies, like all the solar systems within the galaxy and how those all work in conjunction with each other. Like, literally all they have to do is show it on a piece of paper or in a video or in an animation, and people are like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. I don't need any other, basically, evidence. So
yeah, and you know what I'll say? I predict that NASA will predict another asteroid will come close and almost destroy the Earth. You know, like talk about predictions here. You guys are full of them that never come true.
Yep,
it's a joke. Your guy, it's a religion. It's straight up brainwashing. I don't think you guys don't understand how hook, line, and sinker you are into that religion.
Yep. Yeah, and we've already talked about, right? We've already talked about how dinosaurs and unclean spirits and smart city, like, how all this stuff is combined. Like, all the people that are, like, good to go with, like, the technology and the additions to their body, all of those people believe they're going to go into space, right? So it's like, it's a part of the religion, it's a part of the culture of that mindset, and it's interesting. All right, let's keep playing because we're like, what we've got in 4 minutes.
We'll get to that more of the cross exam. That'll be fun, I suppose. But it's very interesting to me because the type of straw manning that you did, as far as showing other people's claims, you know, like Eric Dubay, which I've never shared an Eric Dubay video in my life. I've listened to maybe 1 or 2 Eric Dubay videos in my life.
Oh my
I'm kind of
God.
off put by the guy. I don't think he's a good representative of this topic at all. And he doesn't believe in the God of the Bible, which you and I are believers in. I hope that you are anyway. You don't seem to really believe his words very much. But if you're going to lump me in with other people and then try to present that in our debates, well, then I'm going to lump you in with geocentrists like Tycho Brahe. You're not a Copernican heliocentrist then. Are you a Tycho Brahe geocentrist? Do you not believe in elliptical orbits? Do you believe in something different? I mean, you must, right? Because if you claim not to be a Big Bang heliocentrist, then you can't be a Copernican heliocentrist. Then you must be a geocentrist. If that's the kind of fallacious, bad logic.
How
from
dare
me,
you, Sean? How dare you, Sean?
Do you even know who Tycho Brahe is? So, for years, we've described and we've discussed a biblical cosmological permanent enclosed reality.
I actually heard from a little bird that he's like this. with him
I can see you.
from a little bird.
Oh, okay.
It was just like they're like peas in a pod, but a bird told me. So can I really trust those words? But that's kind of crazy for a bird to tell me something like that. Anyways,
No, you're just a ball.
reality, which has multiple layers of heaven above, the firmament encircled earth, as I put all the definitions on screen, which you're ignoring, as well as the Sheol and Tartarus, which are below.
okay, I gotta say this. This is totally random, guys. So I apologize if it's annoying, but why don't, like, if they believe in evolution, right? Like, why don't they think, like, why don't we have like a dolphin humanoid? Like, why is no other creature other than the monkey able to like hit that next level where they're humanoids? You know what I mean? Sorry, random. I'll keep going.
Which are in Scripture. And I'm sincere, actually sincere, which is why I included as my last point about the missing curvature at Union Glacier. I'm actually thankful to you that you went down there and you stirred up this conversation. It's kind of the greatest irony of 2024 and 25 that you've stirred up this conversation about a 24-hour sun, moon, and stars concept visible in Antarctica, or as I would say, at the outer extremities of the Earth that's enclosed by a firmament, because it did lead to us actually experimenting with the optics of that and seeing, oh, wait, you can actually have a rotating 24-hour sun from an observer point, as far as, you know, the azimuthal distant dome that of his vision that he can see according to how the optics of a light shining in a circuit above a firmament, specifically a vaulted firmament like the Bible describes. What are the chances, Will? How many, like if I were to go into Grok and I were to put in, so there's a vaulted firmament with a light source above it shining down into it that creates not only a circular effect and goes through different gates of the year to create seasons, but also has an optical effect on the outer perimeter of the firmament where there's a 24-hour observer sun from that placement that works at all of the circumference of the firmament. What are the statistical chances, Grok, that those specific claims matches a biblical description of the earth and no one else's description in all of history or in modernity? I just wonder what percentage of chances would come back from an AI like that. Oh, by the way, you did play a clip before the final experiment about me thinking there wouldn't be a 24-hour sun. Yes, that was my prediction. That was my understanding. I was wrong. It's okay.
Oh, see, boom, we got it. Let's get that clip. He said he's wrong. Sean.
There wouldn't be a 24-hour sun. Yes, that was my prediction. That was my understanding. I was wrong. It's okay.
Oh, we heard it again. He said he was wrong.
Like, he's doubly wrong.
Oh my God, Sean. I think you have to now concede that because you've been wrong about one thing.
That's what he's conceding about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. Since you conceded that you said that there would be a 24-hour, there wouldn't be a 24-hour sun, and there was one. Therefore, you're wrong. There's no other possibility. Right. Sean, good debate. We're gonna end it there. Good night, everybody.
We'll get to the heritage part later. Yeah. Okay. I always default to that, but yeah, it's crazy. That's like. And if you're asked to make a claim on that, where you're like, hey, what is your, like, if you were to like give a side, like, I know you don't know, but like, what would you say? Like, I mean, it's like 50-50, you know, you get things wrong. I don't get what you're trying to expect from somebody, and then Will comes on like, well, the globe model predicted that perfectly. It's like, did the globe model predict all this missing curvature? Because I can't find it.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Like,
okay,
you want to just like totally distract from any actual questions regarding the shape of the Earth and go straight to this. It's crazy.
And something to bring up. Sean said Duffy tries to deny Hamvee's model by saying the point of light has to be inside the dome, but that's how badly he doesn't understand biblical model. Which we talked about. I think last one is Sean. Why are you bringing a Bible to let me get the words again, to the Standing for Truth Biblical Creation. You know, Danny isn't some type of debater that talks about biblical topics. No, he's purely scientific. He hosts scientifical review, peer-reviewed paper debates. Okay, so Duffy got you here, obviously. You know what I mean? It's so it's so silly that he doesn't want to talk about the Bible. And the reason why I bring that up with what I just read is because he makes all of these assumptions from a for lack of a better term, we don't really know his true beliefs, but his heliocentric ideal, right, is baked into these things. So when he's saying, "Oh no, what your Bible, what you're saying is saying it's in the firmament, meaning it's inside, and he doesn't have the light on the inside; he has the light on the outside." And it's like, okay, but you're assuming that all the firmament is this in this mirror, and it's like, I think the fact that Hanavi's like demonstration that it's even remotely possible with these simplistic elements, right, makes it even more plausible that it's possible to happen within the firmament, which could be way more sophisticated than a thin, clear, glass, crystalline material. You know what I mean? It could be way more complex to that. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying, like, if you can demonstrate it in something simple, then something more complex could obviously hold that same capability.
Yeah, and as simple as it is actually pretty complex because, like I said before, the heliocentric side has nothing when it comes to modeling what they believe. They really do not have anything. They cannot model the system of the earth and create bounds for the air and the water that exists on it and create like a little replica earth that exists with all the same kind of like modeled features. They cannot do that. So they try to claim how stupid Joseph Hanvey's model is or any other firmament model. Respectfully, you don't have anything. You've got video games and styrofoam. Come at us. It's nothing.
Yeah, and again, like this, for Will Duffy to not want to specifically talk about the scientific, for his whole crux was, I think, 6 points, which were all scientific, had nothing to do with scripture. He could point to not one scripture to say, see, this is why the 24-hour sun in the scriptures proves that the 24-hour sun in real life is because we live on a globe, right? Like, he had nothing to point out scripturally. It was all fallacies and precepts with presumptions and assumptions based upon fallacies, right? Like, that are all baked within what is the heliocentric model or geocentric model, all that mental gymnastics that is literally required to happen, right? Like, everyone knows, like, even us even people like us who used to believe in a globe, I could literally imagine, space and it goes and then the moon. Like, I could imagine that, right? Because it was presented to me over and over and over in so many different visual form that, I could conceptualize it. Now, can I give that same thing to you so that you can, in your mind's eye, conceptualize what we live on? No, and nor would I want to, because I think the wonder of what this place is and how it works and what the stars actually are and how they actually work is way cooler than any just random squiggle lines put on a piece of paper or on a chalkboard by some math magician that says this thing is this far away based upon this and nobody else can read it but the smartest people. Like, to me, that is all hogwash. So, I may be a dumb Neanderthal, right? But better than believing in all that high fantasy, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's keep checking.
I was wrong about that, and I'm glad that you gave us some more trusted information. Unfortunately, I don't know who Anthony Powell is. I didn't get to talk to him like I did you. You and I spoke, what, 2 or 3 times? 2 times, I guess, at least before the final experiment. So when you went, and I knew other people that you took with, like Austin and Jaron, and I thought, okay, this is information that I can trust. So then I took that information, I trusted it, and now I realized, oh, okay, so now I have to absorb this into what I believe, and will it work in an actual firmament closed model? Lo and behold, it does. So it worked out. So just like scientists in the past, when they used to think that the sun was 22 million miles away, but now it's 93 million miles away, according to their calculations. So just like those guys were right when they were claiming 22 million, but then they had to change their mind, I was wrong. I changed my mind based on new information. Thank you for that new information. No big deal. I'm okay to admit I was wrong. But what hasn't changed is all the observations of a light that needs an enclosed medium to propagate, which is what a firmament provides for us. Is that water does need a container in order for it to stay level, which is what the firmament provides for us, which is what Proverbs and Job explicitly says. The vault of heaven, the firmament, is the circle that encloses the waters of the sea and the earth. That,
Sean, how many times do I have to tell you this is a standing for truth biblical creation debate? Stop bringing the Bible into it. Why are you bringing the Bible into it, Sean?
Yeah, you can't be doing
Sorry, I broke character. Excuse me, I broke character, everyone. Let's keep going.
air pressure needs a container. Second law of thermodynamics. So I'm happy that those things have not been changed. There's no new information there. Those physics of life are observed and depend on a firmament to create that effect for us and that just demonstrable reality. So I don't have to change my mind on those fundamental concepts, just on this one particular aspect of the light in the sky that's moving overhead. So thank you for helping me come to a better understanding on that part of biblical cosmology. Also, I hope that we can get into your claims that you put up about it.
How dare you say biblical cosmology? That hurts my feelings, Sean. Sean, that hurts my feelings. You can't say biblical cosmology.
You're redefining it. Okay, calm down.
So you're saying because I believe in a globe and I read the Bible and it says, and I believe in a globe and in the Bible that the Bible isn't globe cosmology?
How are you going to defend or be like, first of all, Sean could not say this word because he's redefining what it means, and so therefore biblical cosmology, has nothing to do with the shape of the earth or whatever he's trying to say. And then at the same time in the debate be like, you can't use the Bible to debate the shape of the earth on a scripture biblical based channel debate. Just
Will Duffy is a character, bro. He dude, that same with McToon, bro. I literally think McToon comes from a long line of jesters. You know what I mean? Like this trope of legendary jesters. You've told wild tales.
You think they're the king's personal jesters, and then when there's enough chaos in the world, they have to send them out to bring it back in a little bit. I don't know.
So it seems like it at times. For real.
From somewhere. I don't know.
24 Moon. You just flashed it on screen. I think it was Anthony Powell. I don't think it was the Schwartz video. I think your Schwartz video was the stars, but I think it was the Anthony Powell video that you flashed on screen for 5 seconds of a 24-hour moon being filmed, and it was at night. So I hope we can get into that with the cross exam as far as if there's a 24-hour sun in the winter or in the Antarctic summer, then, and that's for 2.5 months or whatever.
No, I didn't see that. Sean said, did any of you see the debate negotiations that were filmed a couple of months before the debate? I told Duffy I was bringing scripture to the debate. Well, again, Danny's own title. So wait, I just remember. Weird. Look at that.
Oh God, there's Illuminati. Look at that. He stopped the timer at 1:30:33. They're damned to hell. I tell you right now, they're all damned to hell. But no, okay, but 1:30:33. But like, look, I'm gonna skip here so we can see it. So this is on Standing for Truth's channel, and it literally says Standing for Truth, Biblical Creation. So, in that negotiation, Sean, did he ever talk about maybe wanting to use scripture himself? Or was his plan, hey, I'm just going to come at you with these six things, Sean. 6 things that you have to prove to me scientifically, or you're a liar and a false teacher, Sean. Yeah, no, but seriously, I would love an answer to that question, but we'll keep chugging. Oh,
It just, but it does.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it does say though in the right there in the debate, like on Donnie's side of things, not Sean's, PowerPoint presentation things. There, it's on Donnie's thing, the Standing for Truth, Biblical Creation, biblical. I'm just, when he originally said that, when Will was like, I just can't believe that Sean would bring the Bible up in a debate about the shape of the earth. I swear I slapped my head so hard it was red for like an hour. Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. All right, let's keep checking.
Time observation of the moon. Not even doubting anymore that it's a possible optical phenomenon of the firmament. I'm just curious as when that particular filming was done.
10 seconds, Sean.
And lastly, the concept, this crazy idea that the firmament is a modern invention, just absolutely nonsense. I mean,
Sean, we probably just wrap it up because we are a little bit over 10 minutes. And so I
Little rude there, Donnie. Little rude there, Donnie. Why even say 10 seconds? Why not just say that's it, Sean? Like, I don't know. I'll keep him. I'll keep him below. I'll keep him above the. Yeah. Let's just keep going. But I definitely don't want to hear Donnie talk. So let's go ahead and skip through
appreciate
that.
Will Duff for this is a plenty of fly exam and Sean.
Observations that any of us can make in talking about things that happened thousands or longer years ago. So the question of the
what do you mean by that?
The question of the day is this. What I mean is
I hope you can explain your first statement.
Yeah, I can. It's easier to establish facts in our present world than it is to try to understand something that happened a long time ago and we weren't there.
Even when they wrote it down. Okay, got it.
Oh, okay. So like 1969, were you there, Duffy? Where were you at 1969, 237,000 miles away? Can you talk about that, Duffy? No. Okay. So you can talk about how in this recent year, 2024, you went to and saw things in this. You went to a place and saw things in the sky. Therefore, this is what the shape is, all based upon all the other information, like the globe that you have behind you. Like, you are so... This guy is like... It's like... I don't know how to explain it. It's like a arrogant idiot savant who's not a savant. You know what I mean? It's like someone who's like I think of Owen Benjamin. He's like, oh, look at the 1 and the 2, and you add those together. It's like the conclusions in the things, the blocks he puts together. He's like shoving a circle down a square and being like, see, it works. I can put it in there. Look, Mom, I'm doing it good. The circle goes into the square. It fits. So that means I'm doing it right. It's just like it literally. Yeah, it's so weird.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird how he will never address any other arguments than what, like in every other person he talks to, it's the same He's like, answer these questions and we will discuss nothing else. And then if you try to ask any other questions, you're just obfuscating from the original discussion, because he lays the foundation from the beginning of what they're there to talk about. And we know for one thing, it won't be the Bible.
Yeah, no, Will Duffy doesn't want to talk about the Bible. That's not his expertise. His expertise is like creating this whole thing, spreading its message via back seat. Like, the fact that he wasn't openly, hey, my name's Will Duffy, I am supporting this, I am personally funding this expedition to Antarctica. No, he put his feelers out. Hey, have you heard of TFE? It's gonna be so big, guys. You don't even understand. We're gonna crush those flurfers so hard. Just you wait. First, I'm gonna act like I know nothing about it. Second, I'm gonna go to other channels and see if they would be interested in such an idea. Third, I'm going to message them in some type of way, either email or DM, and I'm going to say, hey, I'll pay for you to go so you can see. It's like he had this whole agenda mapped out and figured out exactly what he wanted to do. And that was my I'm thankful that Witsit went and we saw, if it's real, let's just say, be plain, if it was real and everything we saw was real and it is what it is, and then it's
right.
You still go ahead.
Questions.
Yeah, literally, it doesn't change anything. And the fact that Will Duffy is so arrogant, being like, Sean, you have to say these 6 things. You have to provide these 6 things to prove that you're right. It's like, no, you have to prove dark energy, dark matter, the theory of everything, quantum physics. You have to prove all these things to even be 97% inaccurate of your model. You say you have an accurate model? No, your model is off by over 97%, son. Do you not understand how big of an idea that is?
Yeah, and that was the thing about it, is to make such a demand. That was genius on Sean's side, to be like, yeah, okay, well, I guess I just hold you to the same standard then, because it is they want to claim that they have all these things, but I mean, can I get a picture of Earth from space that doesn't look like a cartoon ball? Can I get a picture of some satellites? By now, come on, by now. But even more than that, if you want an evidence of the globe, it has to come in some insanely philosophical argument or some sketchy footage that doesn't even seem real. It's just, I don't know.
Dude, yeah, we should have evidence of the globe pouring out of our ears, but we don't. We have the exact opposite. We have the preponderance for evidence that says it is not what they say it is. Okay?
Right.
It just logical. If they say that the earth is this deep, that the crust of the earth makes up 1% of the mass of the earth, and the crust of the earth is 100 miles thick, and the deepest we've ever dug is 8 miles, meaning we know 0.0008% of the model, but yet we can tell you what the other 99.992 is based upon that.
On other planets.
And other planets and asteroids. We can look out into an asteroid and see what's inside of it. Oh, that's an asteroid that's made from a diamond. It's worth gazillion dollars.
This exoplanet over here, it has a core that is, slightly colder than normal, and its atmosphere is made up of these gases, and I mean that is what they,
and those gases smell like farts.
And they do troll everyone with their it is like that. I swear, you'll be like, this, the asteroid is 17 flamingos long, and you'll be like, is that a unit of measurement? And if anyone thinks I'm trolling, it's not. Go look it up. They go and they have made articles where they talk about how big asteroids are by lengths in flamingos and alligators.
Or random objects. They do that over and over again. Yeah, it's so dumb.
Or like the guy who put the piece of cheese up that everyone thought was a picture of a star.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, Katy Perry, for instance, they are just trolling hard.
Yeah.
They gotta be.
Yeah.
They can't be this bad at their job.
Yeah. All right, let's keep checking.
Do you believe that the Father's testimony is valid testimony?
Hey, Sean, I'm sorry. So here's the deal. Can you...
Sean, here's the deal. We're not here to talk about the Bible, Sean. Don't you understand, Sean? Oh my God, Sean.
Or can you not...
This isn't a structured cross-exam. This is an open discussion.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Will.
This is...
Hey, Sean. Hey, Will. Hey, Sean. Hey, Sean.
This is a tactic of yours.
It's not a tactic.
Hey, Sean.
I don't care how you try to dominate the cross. I'm asking you a question.
Nope, it's okay. I'm sorry. I told you I'm going to take a firm stance on this. Do you have a map or not that can account for just 6 of our observations last December?
Are you muted?
So he has to have a map of the entire world perfectly that can answer his 6 questions. His globe model can. His globe model can account for all of those things. Sean, we're not here standing for biblical creation. Okay? Sean, we're not here standing for truth, biblical creation, Sean. Sean, we're here to talk about Will Duffy's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a bonus 7th on why your map doesn't work, Sean. Give me a perfect map, Sean. If you don't have the perfect map, Sean, then you're wrong, Sean. It's like that's literally his tactics. It's so retarded.
Of course he has no model. He has to have a model in order to say...
Do you have a model? Do you have a model? I don't think you have a model. I think you have 3D models. I don't think you can actually model anything you actually believe. Like, you cannot stick atmosphere and spinning water, or water to a spinning ball in a vacuum and maintain it somehow.
Bro, all they have to say, it's so ridiculous, is go read a high school science book, bro. Go read a high school science, bro, and that's our model. Duh.
Like, it's really a joke. You guys want to tell us that there is this pressurized vacuum adjacent to the Earth's atmosphere. Like talking about how the stars move in the sky is one thing, but this is something that we can demonstrate on Earth all the time, and you guys literally have to fantasize about how those things work and just tell us that it works that way. Wait, you say, oh, it doesn't feel like it's spinning, but you just assume it is. That's just what's going on. The sun, it looks like the sun's going down or moving away, right? But it's not. It's actually the Earth rotating, rolling backwards. Like, you have to take all your senses and
throw them out the window.
Throw them out the window and assume the opposite. You'll literally admit that when we survey, when we do all measuring, we assume that the Earth is flat, non-rotating, and stationary. Like, for everything that we do. But you say, oh, it's only for that localized area. It's such a joke. You guys make up excuses for why it only works in one place. And truth be told is because your model can't work. It was literally created, reversing the enclosed biblical Earth that the Earth truly is. Like, you guys had to make up excuses for how things work.
Well, and even more so, like us, like me, I believe in the Book of Enoch. I believe that is God-given scripture, and it literally tells that the Watchers, the angels, the fallen ones, they came down and they told us the courses of the sun and moon. So if it is like a clock, right? If it is like a watch piece, like what we talked before, the sky, right? Meaning the sun and moon and the stars are for signs and seasons and wonders, right? For moedims, for times. So if their purpose is a cylindrical, a circular thing, right? Like a clock would be, that you can count upon those things at the similar times every year, right? Well, then yes, if you knew the math of it, right? Then yeah, you could calculate it out of when you should see things. Funny enough, people have. You don't need to believe in a globe to figure out when the moon is going to be in its phases. You don't need to have a map to look at a star and then know 365 days, whatever you want to call that star is going to be at that same place looking down that same tube as it was last year. That doesn't then all of a sudden mean we're flying through space, that we are a pressurized system next to a negative pressure of negative 10 to the negative 17 torr. That doesn't mean that the sun is now 93 million miles away and the next habitable planet, however you figured that out, is 5 light years away. Like show me your model and I'll show you mine. That's more than look at a textbook. Look at this video by Steal the Bike Tyson. That's not enough. That's all make believe stuff.
Yep.
Oh, I did, dude. We're never gonna make it through, but yeah, let's keep going.
I don't know what observations you're speaking of.
Well, that's insane, because I just listed them in my opening statement. All 6: 24-hour sun, 24-hour moon, the sun setting to the south when you're south of the Tropic of Capricorn, south celestial pole, geographic south pole, southern hemisphere flights.
5 out of 6 works in a firmament enclosed model. The south hemispheric flights. I don't actually have, like you admitted in your rhetoric, that there are no quote unquote biblical cosmological Cartesian surveyors, right? So we haven't had an opportunity to explore with great specificity the open waters of the ocean and the distance between land masses without the actual GPS of the modern day. So if we ever have a chance to do that, we may have to find a more accurate representation. But the first 5 things are accurately described in a firmament enclosed reality with the optical effects of light moving overhead, as I demonstrated in one of my points in my opening.
I asked about a map. Do you have a map that can account for our 6 observations? Yes or no?
I just told you that there is no Cartesian coordinates that have been discussed or mapped out as a surveyor for the firmament enclosed reality. So we haven't had a chance to do that. So I don't have a problem saying no. That doesn't disprove anything.
Actually, it does, Sean.
It doesn't, Will. So let me ask you a quick question. You asked one, now my turn. Is the Father's word a valid testimony for our life and reality?
It depends. So here's the deal, okay? So the Father's word does not mention you or me, and it does not mention specifics about our earth today. So if you're trying to claim that it does, that's false.
So is the sun, moon, and stars still over our head?
There is no Israel. That's not a real thing we deal with. There is no Egypt. That's not a real thing we deal with. There is no peoples and evils and things in our world. Nothing that the Bible describes talks about our reality today. Okay? Just know. What?
I was like, how is he a pastor?
I know.
He denigrates it to just a book of just fantasy, basically.
Yeah.
He's very like, the Bible makes no such claims of any of these things, and it's not even. Sean didn't even ask if it had anything to do with the shape of the earth. He just said if it had to do with living our lives in accordance with what the Father has said in His Word, like if it's actually true to live by. And he's like, it depends. And
yeah.
It's like I don't know. Like why? Just
you and me aren't mentioned in the Bible, bro.
Right?
Boom.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah, well, this is called theology.
They're different.
Yeah.
but yes, they are still over our head, but they're completely different.
Just as it was in Genesis 1, they were put over the head of Adam, they're put over the head of you, they're above your head, right?
They're different. That's all I can say.
How are they different? No. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire, and you need to actually tell me how God's word has changed so drastically from when he wrote it, which has been documented to be consistent from early ancient Israelite writings to today, and how our observer reality today is somehow different. You need to go ahead and stand on business and explain that.
Easy. Sunspots are different. The sun is burning, so it's constantly changing.
Do you have record of sunspots in 4000 BC?
Hey, Sean, I really hope you're not going to argue this. This would be super embarrassing. We can see sunspots change while we're living, which means they are different than they were in the past.
That's not what I said. The sun is still in the sky over your head, as Genesis 1 describes in the Bible. Has that changed?
It's still in the sky. That's right.
Has the diameter of the sun changed?
Yes.
Since Genesis 1, the diameter of the sun has changed.
Of course, it's burning.
How have you measured the diameter of the sun?
Dude, does he realize he doesn't even understand his own as it changes because it's burning, right?
But
So
gets
it's
bigger.
expanding because it's burning. Whatever. And I hope he isn't saying it's getting smaller because it's burning. So burning things get smaller. Like, what is that? Like second grade cosmology?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Changing
Yeah, this
since
is
the days of Adam.
I haven't measured it, and I want to
Okay, so
point
it's
out.
a false
I wanna-
claim. So you're
I
just
wanna
appealing
point-
to.
Hey, Sean, let me answer. I want to point out to the audience, you are evading the topic of the debate, which is the shape of the earth, by talking about the sun. I'm going to point out every time you evade the topic because this is what you do.
So let's go back. We have an actual witness here. We actually did a debate, a film debate agreement where we discussed the actual prompt of the debate itself. So just for everyone that see he's showboating and not being very honest right now. So
When has Will Duffy ever been honest, man? Like,
You lied from the get-go.
to be honest, like, I watch Will Duffy because it's like everyone likes a little bit of pain in their lives, and it's like just to kind of be able to relieve some stress by laughing at someone. Like, maybe that's bad for me, like bad of me, but like, to be honest, it's like this has to be a character. This has to be like, because no one, like Sean just said, he doesn't have a clue of what he's talking about from either side of the argument. It's like there's no way someone does that intentionally. Like, at least in my mind, it makes no sense that someone would be like, you know what? I don't know anything about the heliocentric model, and I know nothing about the flat earth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to debate flat earthers and how stupid their points are that I don't know, based upon the information I don't know about the globe. It's like, it has to be a cartoon character. This has to be a bit. It has to be a comedy bit. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense in my head.
The thing is, he's like smart enough, I guess, to just not try to answer the questions or something, because that's the thing, is we have so many of these where it's like, okay, if that's really what you believe, then, but then it's every time it's nope, you can't, like, it's these 6 things in every single debate. He's always just talking about the same thing.
Dude, it's like he's watched enough. It almost reminds me of like a person, like a serial killer who's watched YouTube and knows not to answer certain questions from the cops, right? To get him, nailed down for the murder, right? So it's like he doesn't answer and doesn't say things that could put him in a corner because he doesn't actually have a good answer for those of why the knife was in his car or whatever. You know what I mean?
He does, though. Sometimes he still slips, because even other like Christians are like questioning his beliefs and like his claims of certain things, because other Christians, like for instance, don't believe the earth is what we believe. They have a different interpretation of what the firmament is than Will Duffy, and that's just one thing.
I think Will Duffy is as Christian as Jaron believes the flat Earth. Like, as much as, like, Jaron ever believed it, in my opinion, is as much as Will Duffy has ever believed in the Bible.
Yeah, that'd be
sorry to say that, but that's how I honestly feel. But let's keep chugging.
The debate prompt and resolution is: which model of the shape of the Earth best accounts for the evidence? The sun, moon, and stars are absolutely a part of the models that we're both presenting to talk about. So let's go back to some more logical, grounded, reality-based questions like the one I asked you, which is, you're claiming that the Bible actually is an inaccurate depiction of major concepts like the sun, moon, and stars being over our heads, and that they're somehow different from what was described in Genesis 1.
Hey, Sean, please don't interrupt me, okay? You just lied. You just strawmanned me. I never said that the fact that the sun, the moon, and the stars are above us is inaccurate in the Bible. You just strawmanned me. Please stop doing that.
Well, you literally just said the sun and moon and stars are different from when
Correct.
Adam saw them over his head.
That's right.
So maybe you can clarify and explain your stance a little better.
I already did, Sean. I said that
You
the
did
sun.
not.
Yes, I
You
did.
did
I
not.
said that. I said that the sunspots are different. So,
Actually,
Sean,
I'm going to jump in real quick. So, as moderator listening, my understanding of Will's answer was, and correct me if I'm wrong, and then Sean will let you respond. You're saying they're different in the sense of their attributes, traits. So, sunspots decreasing a little bit because of burning up. Is that what you meant, Will?
Of course.
Okay, Sean. For me, as moderator listening, that's what I understood his answer to be when he said different. Feel free to engage that point if you'd like to, Sean.
Yeah. There's still waters above the firmament as the Bible describes.
The Bible does not describe a firmament as a hemispherical crystalline dome, which is what you are stating. The Bible talks about an expanse, which is what Hebrew scholars, which you and I are not, have told me. And yes, there are waters above, which are clouds, and they're above the expanse that the birds fly in and above, according to Genesis 1. Now it's my turn to ask you a question, Sean. I can't let this go.
We'll go back to that. We'll go back to the firmament.
That's fine.
Go ahead. I'd like to hear your question.
You said 5 of the 6 things are workable in whatever you called it in your model. Can you please explain to me where the geographic South Pole, the Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station is? Where is that?
It's in the landmass south of Chile that is referenced as Antarctica. It's the Amundsen-Scott base that is down there. Apparently, it's a few hundred miles south of where you were at Union Glacier. That is the agreed upon location on the globe projection where it is, and I don't doubt that it's actually a landmass that's down there. So the Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station, which is the place where you go at the Amundsen-Scott base, which is the landmass of Antarctica. I know what you're looking for. You're looking for 1990. You're looking for it's at the bottom of the globe. This is a really silly question, but I'm telling you, according to what we're told from the globe projection, there's a landmass below Chile, right? And I contacted a tourist company trying to actually book a charter ship around that landmass that you said you went to at Union Glacier. And you know what they told me, Will? It was fascinating. So I've got the email, and they said, well, for one, you'll never find a captain that would actually do that journey. And 2, it would take about 3 months to accomplish that journey. So I'm sorry. And it would also take about $2 million to charter that ship so that you could circumnavigate the actual landmass of Antarctica and stay along the coastline. And so they said, they said, you'll never be able to do that unless you have your own boat, your own captain, if you're a captain, and if you got more than a couple $1 million to accomplish that. I thought that was kind of suspect, kind of weird, but I'm actually giving you the benefit of the doubt for your answer. I'm actually giving you the idea that there is an actual location below Chile with a landmass where they have a military base, the Amundsen-Scott base, where there is a quote unquote South Pole down there.
Okay, Sean. So unfortunately, you've just confirmed the globe and falsified flat Earth, and here's why.
No, brother.
The majority. So just so you know, no one has said, you're the first that says that the Amundsen-Scott.
Sean, don't you realize that everything you say is proof that Will Duffy is right? It's just like a narcissist dream. Like, thank you, Sean. Will Duffy's ego is so much bigger now.
South Pole Station is south of Chile on the AE map. You're the first, and
I don't know. I don't describe the A map. Will?
Well, it was in your opening. It was in your opening statement 3 times. So that's on
No, it
you,
wasn't.
not me.
No, it
That's,
wasn't.
yes, it was.
No, it
That's on
wasn't.
you, not me.
Okay,
Okay, so Sean, I
Will
have
Duffy.
to, hold
Will
on, Sean.
Duffy.
I have to.
No.
I have to. You're
Hang
being
on.
rude.
Hang on.
I'm going to jump in, guys, with limited time because we're already 10 minutes in. Sean, you did speak there for about 2.5 to 3 minutes uninterrupted. What we'll do is allow Will to respond uninterrupted, and whatever he says, feel free to note it down. We'll give you the opportunity to respond. As soon as he's done, you'll get an uninterrupted response.
Why doesn't Will? Okay, let's see if that actually happens. If every time Sean talks, if Will Duffy gets an uninterrupted response, let's see that, Donnie.
And what we're going to do, talking over uninterrupted.
AE map, and I can prove that in 2 ways. One is you used it
Will.
in.
This is silly.
Please don't interrupt me. Okay,
well,
so
don't put words in my mouth when
Okay, I'm
I
going to jump in.
sent you an email before the
Sean,
debate.
I'm going to jump in, guys, because I really want this to flow smoothly. Sean, if you disagree with something Will says, let's say he makes an assertion,
map videos, which I can pull up if we need, after we got back from Antarctica. In the first one, you said that Antarctica is on the outer edge of.
I want to do something real quick.
And you'll have plenty of time to respond. And same thing with you, Will. If Sean says something that you just down, Will, for us to
Thank you.
move forward. So Will, uninterrupted, then Sean, no worries. You get an uninterrupted response as well.
Okay, well, 1 second. I want to bring something up. I legitimately want to see something. Okay, why isn't this? Okay, sorry. Give me a second. While this loads. Sure wish the moderator was paying attention enough to realize when someone is continuous strawmanning their opponent's art. Yeah, it's like, so uninterrupted, you can just say whatever you want. He could just slander you that whole time and just make you just say all these accusations, and Donnie wouldn't stop him from doing that. He would let his uninterrupted time say that and just straw man you, say, well, Sean believes that aliens are the real gods, and like Sean can't say, hey, no, I don't believe that. No, he needs to be uninterrupted to be able to say whatever false allegations he would like. Okay, that's going to take too long. Can I do it here? Here, I got an idea. Give me 1 second, everybody.
Go ahead.
Okay. Stop watch. Okay.
Awesome. So Sean, I know you hold to the AE map for 2 reasons. One is you used it in your opening statement, and second, you've done 2 videos, which I can pull up if we need, after we got back from Antarctica. In the first one, you said that Antarctica is on the outer edge of the flat Earth. That is the AE map. And on the second video, you said Antarctica is stretched to the outer edge of the flat Earth. That is the AE map. Now, here is why the Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station cannot be south of Chile on a flat Earth. A majority of the people who go to the Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station get there from New Zealand. To get from Santiago, Chile to Auckland, New Zealand is about an 11 to a 12-hour flight. And they get to the Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station from Christchurch, New Zealand, after they land in Antarctica in 3 hours, Sean. So this does refute flat Earth, and it does confirm the globe, unless you can explain where the Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station is on a flat Earth. And I'm here to say it's impossible.
No,
Sean, over to you. You get an uninterrupted.
Okay, so he got 1 minute and 11 seconds of uninterrupted time.
Interrupted response. Go ahead.
Okay, for one, I sent you an email before the debate. I tagged Donnie in it as well. I'm going to read the email right now. It says, Donnie and Will, we didn't talk about who's the affirmative starting position due to the neutrality of the debate prompt, but Will, if you're going first, be sure not to spend your entire presentation strawmanning me on the Gleason's AE map. Many in the FE biblical cosmological community use that projection poster as a reference, but don't think and never have thought it accurately represents the continental boundaries or sizes and placements on the firmament circle of Earth. I've never promoted the AE Gleasons as an accurate depiction of a reality because I know that that map is a globe coordinates projection mainly created for calculating longitude and time zones. I sent you that email specifically so we could save time during the debate and avoid this nonsense you're doing right now, where you say, because I use it as a illustrative concept, never claimed that I trusted any of the measurements that are put on it because we haven't been able to make our own measurements. And it's not even used for measurement. It's used for longitudinal and time zone concepts. Do you even know that's the initial purpose of the Gleason's map?
No.
Are you even listening?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely
you
listening.
You don't know that. So did you even understand my email to you? Like I tried to avoid this ahead of time. Like, bro, I don't ascribe to the Gleason's AE map in like some flat earthers might. You should debate me today, not some straw man of some other person. Secondly, hold your little map up again, if you would, please. And point to the landmass below Chile. You see that big, thick area, even on this little projection? You see that? So take your finger and point to that
At least you did give him time to talk.
landmass right below Chile. Yeah, you can put a South Pole station there, Edmondson Scott Base, and it works just fine. That's fine.
Okay, so I have to respond to that, Sean. It doesn't work fine because how then do people that fly from Christchurch, New Zealand to Antarctica on a very short flight get all the way here in 3 hours? That's physically impossible.
I just told you that that is not an accurate representation of the land masses, boundaries, and sizes between continents. There are other maps throughout history that show different placements of them. Are you even familiar with the different maps other than that particular projection that you're holding up?
I am. The problem is there is no map you can point to. There is no layout of the continents you can point to that can account for the short flights that all get to the exact same place, the geographic South Pole. It's impossible.
That's your claim. Okay. So you made some claims. That's great. So I put up in my opening statements, which I hope you would actually like to address at some point, some of the things I put forward. The Aquarius constellation in the sky, this is an equatorial constellation. You can see it all throughout the year. No matter which place is revolving around the sun and facing the solar system around you in the heliocentric model. Do you ascribe to the heliocentric model? And two, do you understand why that's impossible in a heliocentric model?
I'm going to have to call you out again, Sean, for not being on topic. The heliocentric model has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. There are many, many people that reject
What? What? What?
What are we even talking about?
Dude, the heliocentric model has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. Like, that is the literally dumbest thing I have heard anyone say. The heliocentric model is literally talking about the Earth. The model in which the Earth it takes place in. Like, what?
The entire story with the heliocentric model opens up in a way where it's just like, and Copernicus made a heretical whatever to the already established. Everyone believed the Earth was flat, and then they come along and he's like, but it's not. It's actually going around the sun, and it's a ball. And there are other earlier models like the.
It was a ball, right? It was a geocentric where the ball was in the middle, and then the heretical thing was that no, we're not in the middle. The sun is in the middle, and so what's interesting is that even their own model can't agree. But one thing with the heliocentric model is the Earth would have to be a sphere because of the way that or a oblate spheroid, because of the way of the gravitational forces, all of that stuff would eventually combine into a spherical thing. Like, that's what they say. Look at all the stars. They're all circles, right? Therefore, we're a circle if they're a circle. So, yeah, the heliocentric model 100% dictates what the shape of the Earth is, Duffy. What a wild statement he just made.
Heliocentrism. There's many people that
Okay.
hold the geocentrism, and that has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth.
By the way, he did not answer whether he was a heliocentric and if he knew that seeing a star or constellation throughout the year would be impossible on a heliocentric model. He says, I don't have to be a heliocentric model. It has nothing to do with the Earth. It's like, what? Literally insane.
Let's do this again. Debate resolution in the video description of the actual video we're doing today. Which model of the shape of the Earth best accounts for the evidence? So the
You
sun,
haven't
moon, and
presented
stars.
a model.
Your TFE 24-hour sun is literally about the model that you purport. So I'm asking about the stars. You brought up the sun. You think that supports your globe model. I'm asking about the stars' movements, and I'm saying they do not support your globe model. And in fact, you can see the Aquarius constellation 12 months out of the year. And no matter where you're facing in the heliocentric solar system, you can see it, which is impossible in a heliocentric model. Debate's over, right? It should be that simple. But this is where we're discussing what evidence fits the model best.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss something in the wording, Donnie?
Are you, Sean, are you stating that the lights in the sky can tell us about the shape of the ground we live on?
Donnie, did I miss something in a debate prompt? Are we discussing which evidence best supports the shape of the Earth model?
The resolution I have, which I've gone over several times for us and the audience, which model of the shape of the Earth best accounts for the evidence?
So, Will, that'll be the last time you bring that up, okay? You're just wasting time. So, yes,
okay,
I do say, just like you say, the movement of the sun proves the shape of the Earth, I'm saying the movement of the stars disproves the globular claims of a heliocentric model. Yes,
okay.
The movements of the stars and how they can be seen supposedly in a heliocentric model, no matter which way you're facing as your back is to the sun, which is impossible in the solar system.
Okay, so you didn't. I don't know what evidence you've provided for this. You showed like a cartoon.
Did you watch my presentation? Did you take notes?
You're interrupting me again, Sean.
Are you doing a good faith debate today, Will?
Yes, you showed a like a cartoonish drawing in your opening statement, and that's the only evidence you.
I will say that this whole gamma attitude that he has, I don't think he can do that in front of real men. Like, if him and Sean were like standing next to each other talking, and he was doing all of this gamma behavior of like like,
No, it's like, shut up.
dude, no, he literally, I guarantee you, his mannerisms in front of other men in real life would not be this.
No.
I don't know Sean's height, but Sean, do you happen to know Will Duffy's height? That would be an interesting topic to me. Like, I'm guessing 5'5". Like, that would make sense for his presence.
You provide. In contrast that, I showed you a video of the South Celestial Pole, which is stars rotating in the opposite direction, which is impossible on a flat Earth.
No, it's not. It's actually an optical effect of the firmament. So as you move to the outer edges of the firmament, the optical lights that are circling over the center of the firmament, they have an effect on the outer edge, and there's different stars and how they project to be seen according to the outer edge of the firmament. This is it's a part of the rotation that you see as your hemispheric dome of observation is what it's called. All right, it's actually the very video that I skipped in my opening presentation because of time. And so as you actually are looking around, there's a convergence point between the ground that you're looking at in the distance with all the stars and everything in the atmosphere is how your eye works. There's a convergence point. And so as you turn a 360, you can only see so far. And as you do that, you see different, you only see a limit to how many stars you can see in the sky. And that hemispheric dome of observation will change the further to the outer edges of the circle of the Earth that you get to, allowing you to see the stars rotating in a different fashion above your head at the outer edges of the Earth. So this is it's a mixture of how your eyes work with the hemispheric dome of vision with the optical effects of a dome with lights above it shining down into it.
Okay, great. So please let me respond without interrupting. Number one, there is no firmament. There is no dome. You've produced zero evidence that there's a firmament, zero evidence that there's a dome. It's never been observed, can't be tested, can't be seen. So I can't let you slide. Number two, if that's not a big enough hurdle, the second one is even worse. You're implying that the southern celestial pole is a reflection of stars in the north. That's completely false. They're different stars. They're different constellations. So you have not solved this in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, my turn. You ready? So I presented tonight in my opening statement the definitions of the word firmament expanse. They're a solid structure. This is detailed, scholarly agreed upon definitions. You claim you found some random, unnamed, unpresented. You're just appealing to some rando who's a Hebrew scholar, you claim, who says it's never been the definition. Yet I can pull up Josephus, Antiquity of the Jews, book 1, who is an actual Pharisee, an actual Jewish person, and he claims in Antiquity of the Jews in book 1, he says, and on the second day he placed the heaven over our world and separated it from the other parts, and he determined it should stand by itself. He placed a crystalline firmament around it, that's our world, and put it together in a manner agreeable to the earth. I also have a demonstration of apostolic preaching in the 2nd century AD, where he describes a firmament of 7 layers encompassing our earth. This is Irenaeus in Demonstration of Apostolic Preaching. So that's chapter 1, verse 9. So in addition to the actual scriptures I presented, that there's a vaulted circle that encompasses the waters of the earth, we have historical testimony from Jewish people, since apparently that was your random litmus test. So documented historical continuity with the prophets and the testimony of God through the prophets is also documented by some random people after the days of the apostles. So you're completely wrong. Your claims are fallacious.
Hey, Sean, nothing you just said and no verse that you referenced.
This is not Mallrats, bro. You got to have a better argument.
You're interrupting me again. You're interrupting me again. Nothing that you just said and none of the verses that you had in your opening statement talk about a hemispherical dome. So I can't let you get away with this. You're trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. And it's very easy because you will not be
allow Will to finish, and then you'll get it uninterrupted.
Donnie, if we're going to allow slanderous accusations about my intent and character, then this is not a good faith debate, right? So let's just keep it. Let's keep it above the board, Will. Right? You want to be an honest person, so you don't want to be assuming that I'm.
Let's listen to this real quick. So we need to have this guy uninterrupted. Look at this. Look at this.
Hey, Sean, nothing you just said and no verse that you referenced.
This is not Mallrats, bro.
I get why Sean interrupts here, but just try to ignore Sean and listen to what Will Duffy says.
You're interrupting me again. You're interrupting me again. Nothing that you just said and none of the verses that you had in your opening statement talk about a hemispherical dome. So I can't let you get away with this. You're trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. And it's very easy because you will not be
allow Will to finish, and then you'll get it uninterrupted.
Donnie, if we're gonna
see, and look, he loves it. He absolutely loves that Donnie came to his defense when Will Duffy was just saying, Sean, you're just trying to lie to people and lead them to damnation. Right. Okay. Wait. I'm adding words. Let's listen to it again and look at that smile.
You'll get it uninterrupted.
And it's very easy because you will not put the wool over people's eyes. And it's very easy because you will not
allow Will to finish, and then you'll get it uninterrupted.
And it's very easy.
Donnie, if we're gonna
very easy because you will not be wool over people's eyes. And it's very easy because you will not
allow Will to finish.
Unfortunately, Donnie had to talk and interrupt him, so I didn't get to hear what he was saying. But Donnie interrupted to interrupt the interruption because Will was saying that Sean was purposefully deceiving people. Like, What more of a bad faith debater and, to be honest, moderator we have seen tonight for the third night?
And then you'll get it uninterrupted.
Donnie, if we're going to allow slanderous accusations about my intent and character, then this is not a good faith debate, right? So let's keep it above the board, Will, right? You want to be an honest person, so you don't want to be assuming that I'm trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. I'm not assuming you're trying to pull the wool. I've never made claims about you or videos about you saying that, as many as other people have. I've always given you a good faith discussion. Can you agree to that?
Yes, I can. So,
Okay,
Sean.
so stop with the nonsense and act like a man, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
So, Sean, none of the verses you quoted.
Look, I could just like in his mind with that. Oh, it's going to. Oh, dang it! No.
I couldn't find it, but
Dang it! Where were we? Oh my gosh! Okay, let me look on here real quick before it goes. 1 second, guys. I'm trying to see what time it was when I changed it. 1:53. Oh, I'm close.
about my intent and character, then this is not a good faith debate, right? So let's keep it above the board, Will, right? You want to be an honest person, so you don't want to be assuming.
No, you see that? He goes, well, look. This is like dude. Oh my god. Am I muted? Okay, no, I'm not. Okay, so listen to what Sean says, and look at Will Duffy's Will Duffy's face. Like,
Let's keep it above the board, Will, right? You want to be an honest person.
You want to be an honest person, right?
Nope.
No.
So you-
Nope, I don't.
I did not agree to those.
Hey, Will Duffy.
Right? So let's keep it above the board, Will, right? You want to
Right?
be an honest person.
Honest person, right? No.
So you don't want to be assuming that I'm trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. I'm not assuming you're trying to pull the wool. I've never made claims about you or videos about you saying that, as many as other people have. I've always given you a good faith discussion. Can you agree to that?
Yes, I can. So,
Okay,
Sean.
so stop with the nonsense and act like a man, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, to be honest, I'll openly claim that he tries to pull the wool over people's eyes because he literally did that to Sean to begin with.
Yeah.
Before I even really knew anything about the final experiment or anything like that. When he claimed he had nothing to do with it to Sean, he literally was caught lying about it. Somebody made a video even with Sean in it exposing it. I don't even know if Sean's even seen it, but yeah, it's kind of funny. I would make that claim that, yeah, you are intentionally being deceptive. I do think you are pulling the wool over people's eyes. I'm not one to judge your soul. That's Yeshua's job. But I have this sneaking suspicion you don't work for the Father, considering you won't even entertain the scriptures.
And I'm very surprised that he is at least 6 foot tall. I'd still look down on him, but
You would.
yeah,
Definitely.
but
yeah, eye level for me, it's perfect. But like I said, he's probably like a wet noodle. Not really too worried.
yeah, okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
So, Sean, none of the verses you quoted talk about it.
So Sean, like, who talks like that? Like, Kyle, am I always like, hey Kyle, hey Kyle, like, it's so weird that he always so Sean, what do you think, Sean? Like, it's just, I make fun of it because if you literally listen to him, he says it so many times.
Hemispherical
That's weird.
dome. So I have to push back on that. And it'll be very easy to demonstrate this to the audience because I can say right now, you can't pull up a single verse in the Bible that mentions a hemispherical dome.
Yeah, it's a special pleading. It's like, what is it, Texas sharpshooter fallacy? Just you're wanting specific wording. It's an all or nothing fallacy. That is not the you even said it yourself, Will. Context helps us understand what's being described. Okay, so I put which apparently you didn't listen to a single thing I said, but I put up verses that talks about Proverbs chapter 8.
No, like, obviously he was not there for your thing. He went on mute and walked and got a snack or something. Like, he's a little white in the corners of his mouth, so like maybe he had to breathe some funky air. I don't know.
He established the heavens as a compass on the face of the depth. Okay? The word heaven was given to the word firmament as a compass on the face of the depth. Job 26:10, he encircled the waters with bounds. It's very specific. This
None
is
of
the concept
that
of the firmament.
is a hemispherical dome. I'm sorry.
Where in scripture does it say hemispheric dome? If it doesn't say hemispheric dome in the scriptures, you're wrong, Sean. I'm right. Okay, we're not going to talk about that it doesn't say globe. Okay, it doesn't say the word globe anywhere, but yours doesn't say hemispheric. Oh my Lanta.
Which is crazy because when you look up, maybe not directly in the scriptures itself, but when you look up through the definitions given to us, the earlier you go back, the better. But yeah, that is what we're given as a hemispherical dome.
A vaulted dome, right? And I will say, no, it doesn't have to be some perfect hemispheric dome. And like I will even say, like the simple demonstration of a plastic hemispheric dome and a mirror acting as the superfluid and the light on the outside, like none of those things bother me, because it's like, okay, yeah, it might work like that, but it could be way more sophisticated as well. So it's like, to me, even if it's not a perfect hemispheric dome plotted out on a calculator, it still can be a vaulted dome. So him wanting the exact definition of a hemispheric dome and wouldn't accept something like vaulted dome, to him that's not enough, right? And it would never be enough anyways.
He even plays stupid and says, like, oh, I know what vaulting is in the Olympics. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Can't be that dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, again, that's just a weird debate fallacy. It's an all or nothing fallacy. But
Well,
okay.
no, Sean, it's not. Your entire argument is
based off.
It's not an all or nothing fallacy. All your argument, like literally listen to that, literally.
Sean, it's not. Your entire argument.
Oh wait.
Nothing fallacy. But
Well, no,
okay.
Sean.
Okay, again, that's just a weird debate fallacy. It's an all or nothing fallacy. But
Well, no,
okay.
Sean, it's not. Your entire argument.
It's not all or nothing fallacy. It's entire, okay? I use the word entire, Sean, not the word all. Not all that you say, but the entire. Is so stupid. Yeah, every time you appeal, if you watch, he winces and does this weird little smile every time you mention scripture. It's every other, it's like, you're right. I'm effectively speaking to an unbeliever. You're exactly right. It's like if you brought up scripture to an atheist, how they would wince and be like, why the heck would you use that with me? Do you think that has some power over me? That in some way the scriptures could change my mind about the earth we live on and about what it means to be human? It's like, well, what do you think? It's some guide to live life on this earth? No, it's literally a set of, mythological fairy tales that have metaphorical, philosophical ties to your theological doctrines of your mind. It's like, it's all mumbo jumbo. That's what he believes. He believes in, sparkles and sparkles and fairy dust.
I don't know if I've ever seen a perfectly still lake.
Oh,
Right.
I'm hearing. That's for you. Okay, go ahead.
No, I don't have anything else. Just agree.
Let's go.
Argument is
based off the definition of the words.
You're interrupting me again. Your entire argument is based on a hemispherical dome. And so you can't say that I'm just trying to nitpick here. This is your entire argument. You think a hemispherical dome solves the 6 observations we made. It doesn't. It definitely doesn't, especially with flights. And you're not demonstrating that a hemispherical dome exists. The Bible never says that, and it's never been observed. So your whole position is a non-starter.
Okay, so let's go into your claim of translation shopping, right? We did Amos 9:6. The NASB does tell a vaulted dome over the earth. And you said, well, that's just a modern one-off English translation. But here I have the JPS Tanakh 1917 that says that he builds his upper chambers in the heaven. He founded his vault upon the earth. What is the vault that's founded upon the earth? What's a vault and how is it founded upon the earth, Will?
It's not a hemispherical dome.
What's a vault?
I don't know what a vault is. I mean, I could tell you what a vault is in the Olympics.
Boom, knee slapper. Yeah, so, Will Duffy, bro, like Sean, honestly, man, like the fact that you're even willing to talk to him, I got to give you credit there for that. Never ever would I ever talk to this dude. Not because I think he's unsavable or he's unclean or anything like that. To me, he is literally like, I know what type of person he is from the behavior that he displays. And like, that's the type of person, it's like, hey, yeah, this is my friend, you'll like him. He's really cool. And then they come over and they're just like, they don't want to leave. They want to look through all your stuff. Like, he just feels so weird to me. And so, and then, right, just like that. And then the things that he says, like, I don't know what a vault is. I know what it is in the Olympics. Then all of a sudden, right, because vault doesn't equal hemispheric dome, therefore, he can just hand wave dismiss your whole argument and say, well, I know what a vaulting in is in the Olympics. It's like, what more bitterness does a person have? Like, maybe not bitterness isn't the word, but it's just like, it's insane to me that a human male can act like this. Like, and I don't know, maybe he's like super into eating soy. Like, his parents, raised him right, and he grew up on steaks and hamburgers, and now he's older, and he, feels really sad when the cow is killed. So now he just eats soybeans and soy milk, and he, eats tofu with his soy noodles, and like uses soy. I just like the face rub, like It honestly, it feels like that because he doesn't. And does he know what a woman is? Doesn't know what a vault is. Nice one. Nice one, Lorax. Sean said this whole debate was so I could expose how disingenuous and uninformed he is about this stuff. Honestly, I'm surprised he agreed to it. Yeah, I think because he just had that his whole argument, like anytime you go into a debate and you're like, you have to prove this 6 things. If you can't prove this 6 things, then you lose. Like, that's such a gamma argument. Because basically what he's saying is I'm only comfortable talking about these 6 things. If anything you bring up is outside of these 6 things, then I am going to not talk about those things. I'm going to plead ignorance or make some silly dumb joke. And that's all I have to do. And then I win the argument because remember I said that if you didn't prove these 6 things, then I win. It's like, it literally remembers if anyone's seen the Big Daddy, and it's like, he's like, well, why do you win? He's like, because I got a 2 and a 4 and a 9 and a 6 and a 10 and a 12. And he's like, well, why does he win? Because the games I win. Like, that's what Will Duffy said. Okay, I will agree to... Sean, I'll agree to a debate if you first agree that I win. That if you can't prove these 6 things, then I win, Sean. It's like, it's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, since the beginning when he said, I've never seen level water, and I'll show you proof of the earth. Here's a picture from Apollo 17. The last lunar mission, like, here's the proof that we landed on the moon. It was like at that point in time, after those responses, at the very least, I was just like, I don't know what this man could ever do to where I could restore something to where I could actually take his words seriously. And time has shown that nothing has improved. It's still just the craziness of his arguments. I mean, it's like he'll say that the Earth could be bigger. That's why, we can see further than what the globe allows, and it's crazy. You're muted.
I'm actually gonna skip ahead a little bit. Like Sean said, we'll never get through it if we don't. Of course he does more nonsense, but one point that I want to bring up is and I think this
89 miles away. But if you look very, very close in the very back, you can see further beyond a specific shape to its right, much further in the distance in the back, that's grayed out with shadows because it's so far away. It's actually 140 or 163 miles away. I apologize. That's a typo. 163 miles away, which matches the yellow box on the right-hand side as far as the distance on Google Earth where this mountain range is. And this lady is pretty cool. She is actually, she's climbed all 7 of the highest peaks in the world. And she took a picture of this mountain range. It's behind her as she stands up on Mount Vinson. And you can see that mountain range in the back. And there it is, the same shape as the one we see to the right, which is 163 miles away. And that is the actual, it's 0.03. It's at 0.3 of a mile. It should be hidden by the curvature of the Earth by 0.3 of a mile, but instead you can still see that far away to see this further in range behind.
Okay, can I respond?
Yeah, you can respond, brother.
Can you go back to that last slide, please?
The zoomed in one, or what's one of the other ones?
The one with the numbers. Okay, cool. So you missed one thing, which is the elevation where we were at Union Glacier. You only have the drone height here. So this is common, by the way. Flat earthers do mess up the globe math frequently. Do you have any idea what the elevation is at Union Glacier?
I don't. What's the elevation?
It's 700 feet.
Okay.
So can you add this and tell me what it says when you've added it?
To what you want to add it to the eyesight level?
Of course.
Because that's not how it works. Because you've already have your elevation above 700 feet. Did your drone calculate as a baseline of 700 feet, or did your drone calculate 4,900 feet above sea level?
Okay, so I have to correct you because it's super important, and I think you'll agree with me on this. Okay, if you are assuming the globe model, I'm going to answer. Assuming the globe model, if you are standing on the beach and you're looking out, versus standing on a mountain and looking out, can you see further if you're standing on a mountain?
Yeah, you can see further because you've raised in elevation. I'm asking you. You have a video where you put the schematics of all the logistics of your drone flight on camera, and that's where I got the 4918. 4,918 feet while making this observation. Was that from sea level, or did you input a baseline of 700 feet?
It was based on, it's essentially zeroed out from where you launch.
Okay. So you're claiming that it already assumed 700 feet above sea level. Is that true?
Sorry. I made a huge mistake. It's 700 meters, not 700 feet. So yes, the elevation that you're so essentially, I'm standing on a mountain essentially in Antarctica, and then my drone went an additional 1,500 meters above that. So you're missing 2,100 feet of elevation in your math here. That's the first problem.
That drone footage, even if you're doing it based on this mountain doesn't make sense from this picture. Seeing as much of it as you do. So, yeah. But I'm gonna skip through this just a little bit. Oh,
yeah,
what were you gonna?
We got like hundreds, thousands of real life examples.
Yeah.
To demonstrate, distant mountain ranges and how,
we see too far.
That's the thing Will Duffy will not entertain any discussion with is curvature.
Okay. Yeah, great idea. Let me pull that up for everyone. this up. Grab this. Okay, yeah, so let's actually do the math. I'm going to make this, make it smaller. Give me 1 second, everybody. Resize this. I'll pull that up again. Okay, so it's 163, and then so that would be what, 5, 6, 1, 9. That's 700, right? Yeah. Distance to horizon still obscured by 3,000 feet. Let's do miles. So it actually is like the opposite for him if you actually go higher. It actually hurts his, because it puts the distance to the horizon further, which makes it even more or less likely to do meters just as people. 1,000 meters. Oh, did I? Oh, because he said 7,000 meters. Got you. It's 700. I mean, 700 meters, not. Okay, so it's 7214. I was like, that doesn't make sense. How is that going up? Okay, so it's to be 163, 7214. Okay, there it goes. So still 104 miles. Why is it let me change that? Yeah. So still obscured. Wait, why is that? Oh, meters. There you go. Let's go feet. Maybe do miles. Well, that still doesn't. What am I doing wrong here? This actually doesn't make sense. I am also tired, so. But so yeah, so distance 163. Even if we add the 2,297 miles to the with the increased eyesight level, it's still the distance is 104 to the and it's still how many feet? Like 2,000 feet plus. So. And again, even if my math is right, it isn't right on this one. Specifically for the Bear Lake one, I did the math. I used their numbers. I used their calculators. It doesn't. We see too big, and you're right, Kyle. He does mention in this part that the Earth could be bigger. No, the heliocentric, the geocentric models all depend upon the radius of the Earth. So to say anything different is to not even know your own model.
Yeah, because we know what the radius is based on how the light comes in at the angle it does and how we use the light and the sun rays to determine the radius of the Earth. And so therefore we know what the radius is. That's what we start and assume with, that we can't change that because that's like what the assumption begins with.
And it's literally circular reasoning because they say, oh, and because what we know what the radius of the Earth is, we can use the sun rays to and find those angles, right? So it's like they use their math to prove their math that they use to prove their math. It's like just circular over and over and over.
It's like, according to the guys that went to the moon, we went to the moon. You know, it's like that same, according to these guys and their math, it's correct.
Yeah, yeah, it's so preposterous. And so I actually, for those that want to go and look back at this part when they show this, I think there's some real, I think Sean really kind of puts him in his place, and I think you'll see more of Will Duffy's character and how he kind of obfuscates for stuff. They go into the questions and stuff. I would have loved to go into that, but of course, all questions are, is there, it's either a setup for Duffy to spike, or a setup for Sean to spike, or a impossible character from the Globe side, impossible character, impossible question to Sean, or an impossible question to at least how they view it to Will. And so it's like, Sean's thing is to show Will Duffy, and that's like, what's so interesting about that is I wasn't even, it's not like Sean told me that before tonight, before we made the part 1 and part 2. And so my whole thing here too was to like look at Will Duffy, like literally look at his behavior and how he can't answer questions. He like, anytime he could be put into a situation where he answers a incriminating question, he quickly disengages, changes the subject, complains about being interrupted. So he is, slandering and putting intent on someone's heart and character. So, all of those behaviors. And then unfortunately Donnie basically gave a cake to a kid that was bullying another kid to calm them down. It's like he just incentivized that bad behavior, and you literally see it. Not once did Sean pull into question Will Duffy's behavior, even though there is reason to do so. He doesn't. And so like, even as a gentleman, as a man discussing things, like he has this arrogance and this narcissism about him, where it's like, you need to understand that Will Duffy, even as unintelligent as he may seem, he's actually the special boy that's going to bring the truth of the world, the globe, back to the deceived, back to the ones that Sean has pulled the wool over their eyes. And Will Duffy's going to be the Superman. It's like it's either he's egotistical narcissist that is actually fairly non-intelligent, or he's a very intelligent, like character, at least portrayed as a very intelligent character, that is been well trained in deception and rhetoric. Because I will say his rhetoric and his deceptive style is very intoxicating to those who don't have a mind to think for themselves, right? Because all you got to do again is say, look, here's a science book, it's all in there, it's been proven, right? They don't actually have to come up with real ideas and real refutes. They can just point to pictures from NASA. They can just point to animated pictures provided by your high school science book. And so to me, it's like they're already coming from this like intellectually superior mindset, because how dare you believe something so dumb as the flat earth? So there's not, Will Duffy not only has that, but he also has that arrogance of like, he's been to Antarctica, he sees it, he knows what that means, even though it's just, Will Duffy, brother, if you actually have a heart for truth, I truly hope that you're brought to truth. Brother, if you are deceptive, if what you're doing is for a nefarious reason, I truly hope that you are, brought out and shown your true colors. And I think Sean did a great effort here in this debate. But Will Duffy, I truly hope that you would be shown for who you really are, so that these tactics, this toxicity that you want to share with the world literally stops. And I say it's toxic because we've already shown that you are deceptive in the things you did. Do you want to be honest? No. Me, Will Duffy, I don't want to be honest. I don't want to have a good faith debate. Like, you can see it in your mannerisms, brother. You can see it in your behavior. So I hope whatever reason that the Father, or, whichever way it pans out, that the Father would use you for His glory, or for His, for whatever, for His glory. But I never would enjoy talking to you, brother. I think you're. I think you got a lot of growing, bro. I'll say that. But anyways, I could keep talking about this guy because there's a lot. He has been measured and found wanting, to say the least. But sweet guys, thank you for being here. Check out the rest of the debate. There is some more portion of them kind of back and forth. And then they go into the question and answers. And then Donnie does like a 20-minute diatribe or whatever. Yeah, appreciate you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed. Until next time, remember that ABBA love you first. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom. Much love.
Much love indeed. Peace.
It's your glory, conceal the mystery. You give us the honor to search a matter out. You raise up a standard to beat back our enemy. You establish this realm, and like a scroll you spread it out.